rule and reign. What is it like to have power? To have power means to have ability to act. To have power means to have the capability to accomplish some certain things in our lives. In other words, power, authority. And in the Bible book of Psalm chapter 62 verse 11, David recognized what power, and he recognized the source of power. And he says that God has spoken once, twice have I heard this, that power belongs to God. God is the source of power. And in verse 12 he says, for you recompense a man according to his work. What is your work before God this morning? What is our work before God? In Matthew chapter 28, Jesus, when he approached his disciples, he said to them, all power has been given unto me. The power in the heaven and the earth and beneath the earth. And he says that at the mentioning of my name, Jesus, every other power must surrender. He made this clear. And Paul declares also in the book of Philippians chapter 2 verse 10, that I may know him and the power of his resurrection. And one thing I love about him is that he did not stop there, and also the fellowship of his suffering. That is the part that we don't want to talk about. That I may know him and know the power that quickened him from the dead, and all the sufferings associated to it. That means power comes with a sacrifice. Someone have to pay for it. Look at your neighbor, say power. Look at your neighbor, say power. Power. In John chapter 1 verse 12, Jesus also declared that, he said, to them that receive him, he will give, that is, endow power to them to become his children, his son, his daughter. To them that receive. When you receive means that you have believed. He said, I have no option other than to endow and empower you to become. To become means to become what God has made you to be. And that's why we read in the book of Genesis that after God have made man, especially in chapter 2, he imparted man with his power of his spirit, and the man became or become a living soul. To them that receive him, he will restore that power back. Power to have dominion, power to rule, power to reign in your kingdom. We all have a domain. And for us to have a domain, which is the jurisdiction where God has empowered us to rule, means that there are some subjects in that kingdom. Whatever the subjects may be, it could be powers and principalities, but one thing is guaranteed, and that is for the fact that we have received Jesus. We have believed in him. He has given you the power to become. Hallelujah. 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 Our God is a good God. Our God is a good Lord God. Somebody shout hallelujah. After today, as a child of God, of the Most High God, the power shall come upon you today. I said, the power shall come upon you today, and you shall arise, and you shall have dominion to rule and to reign. If you believe it, let somebody shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let somebody shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. You remember that last week we talked about, in the things that we shared last week, we talked about who are we. And I said that it is very crucial and very important that we recognize ourselves in God in order for us to exercise the power, otherwise the authority. So among the things that we talked about last week, we said that in the book, in Genesis chapter 1, from 26 to 28, when God endowed man with the power to dominate, to have dominion, and to rule, the Bible said that God said, can we make, let us make man in our image. And then God created man from himself. And we talked about creation last week, that to create means to bring into existence, to breed, to generate. To create is to bring into being. And so, which means that we said that God created man in Genesis chapter 6, chapter 1, 26 to 28, and give the man whom he has made from himself, from his own image, endow that man with the ability to dominate, ability to rule, and ability to reign. And we moved again to chapter 2, from 4 to 7, where we said that God now made man, formed man from the dust. And that same man that he formed from the dust, he breathed the breath of life into him, and he became a living soul. A living soul. So which means that now God has formed man. And that means he put together and make a whole. That is to integrate. He brought all that he has made and put it together, decorate it, then man is now able to live perfectly in this planet Earth with a material body suitable for the climate and still able to commune with God. So God have now completed his creation about man from Genesis 1 to Genesis 2. And we also talked that God in his tripartite, which is God the Son, God the Spirit, God the Son, God the Father, also made man the spirit, man the soul, and man the body. But right there in the soul of man, then the same tripartite, because God believes so much in three. There's always power in three. So in the soul of man, we have the soul heart, the soul spirit, the soul emotion, and the soul the will. So we try to differentiate between the soul and also the heart. And we read from the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23, when the Bible said, watch or guide your heart with all diligence, for from it flows the issues of life. So, which means that the soul of man is tied together with the heart. The heart is the battlefield of man. And so, which means in the heart of man, which is the soul of man, has two gates. We have the gate which is from the spirit, and we have the gate which also is from the flesh. So depending on whom you are attached to will determine the information that comes into the heart. So if you are much closer to the flesh, then information that comes into your heart will always come from the flesh. But if you subject your flesh in order to allow your spirit to rise, then all information will be coming from the spirit then to the soul. But the danger about all this is that the soul itself has emotion, it has a heart, and it has the will. So whatever information that comes, whichever gate or source comes to the soul processes it and pass it on to the emotion. And that's why so many things, most of the time when we want to make judgment, all judgment comes from our emotion. How you feel concerning something, that determines which way you want to go or you will go. So when the emotion picks up and process, then it goes to the will. The business of the will is to execute everything that comes from the heart. And this is why God wants us seriously to guide our heart with all diligence, because there flows the issues of life. And there's no other successful way we can guide our heart other than getting in tune with the things of the Spirit. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. These were the things we talked about last week. But this week, now we want to look into the fall of man. So if God have now made us with all these components, all these capabilities, how did we come to the fall of man in the Garden of Eden? That's what we want to talk about. But I don't want to spend too long in talking about it, because it's a familiar story to every believer. It's a simple story. God made tree in the garden and instructed his people what to eat, which one, and what not to eat. But man disobeyed God and ate. And the fellowship in which God was having with them on regular basis at the cool of the day turned and become fellowship at the hot of the day. Because God came down again to have fellowship. Of course, that is the purpose of the Spirit of God. God gave man his Spirit so we can have and continue to have fellowship with him, so he can speak to us. God cannot speak to our flesh. God can only speak to our spirit man, and the spirit man interprets the voice of God into our mind. So Adam and Eve sinned, of course, and when we move to the book of Genesis chapter 3 verse 19, God cursed man. God cursed man as a result of the fall. The cause is found in Genesis chapter 3 verse 19. The Bible says, from the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return. Wow. Someone might say, how in the world can God be so cruel to release such a curse? The danger in a curse from God is that there is no high priest, there is no man on earth is big enough to relieve you from that curse except God by himself. We understood the fact that when Joshua was taking the Israelites to cross over the wall of Jericho, and after their successful entry into the city, Joshua cursed the land that whoever that will ever make attempt to rebuild this city, not only that the person shall die, but shall lose his sons, first sons. But 20 years later, God raised another priest who was able to revoke the curse of man. There is no man that is big enough to revoke the curse of God. And when Elijah traveled with Elijah, and on his return, because God used him to work miracles, and the news went afar. And the Bible said, because the city of Jericho from the time of Joshua had been buried. And here they lined up the kings and the rulers and invited Elisha to come and revoke the curse. Of course, he did. The bitter water turned to sweet. Every barrenness became productive. I'm prophesying to someone here that because of this word that you have heard today, every root of bitterness in your life shall be uprooted by the reason of his word. And everything pertains to your life will become sweet. Your financial stand shall be sweet. Your marriage shall be sweet. Your health shall be sweet. Everything that pertains to your life from today shall be sweet. In the mighty name of Jesus. So that's what we are talking about. The curse. The curse. You know, sometimes, and when we read from the book of Galatians chapter 3 verse 13, the Bible said that cause to every one hang on a tree. Of course, you may wonder why tree is involved in this matter. In the garden, we should always remember that a tree was involved in the entry of sin into humanity. Therefore, the answer to sin and ultimate removal of this sin for humanity is by hanging on the cross made of wood. Even though, according to the tradition of the Hebrews or the Jews, it is known that tree is usually used to hang everyone that committed a crime or called a criminal. But in this case, the death of Christ on the cross is beyond man's tradition. The spiritual significance was the fact that tree was involved because tree bear the fruit which Adam and Eve, which led them into committing the sin. And now Jesus carrying the cross and crucified on that cross associates with that same tree that led the children, the Adam and Eve to commit the sin in the garden. And that's why in the book of John chapter 1 verse 29, when John saw Jesus coming, he recognized whom he is in the spirit. He said, behold, the Lamb of God who takes the sin of the world. The Lamb of God who takes the sin of the world. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Jesus submitted himself as the Lamb, as the Bible taught us during the Exodus of the Israelites, when God now decided to come down. God decided by himself to come down in order to redeem man from the cross and also to revoke the cross which he has placed upon man. Of course, the Bible told us in the book of John that God is a spirit, and because God is spirit, no one should expect him to come down in form of that spirit. He had to strip himself off from all his divine attributes and stoop so low and came down from heaven as man in order to relate to both of us in the way and the manner that we will understand him. And the Bible said he came. And during the time of the Israelites, when they were serving in Egypt for over 400 years, God in his infinite power decided to redeem man, his own people, from that spirit of bondage. That was another time God decided to slaughter the lamb, which symbolically represents the coming of Jesus, who is the true lamb. The Bible told us that God told the Israelites, it is time. I've heard the cry of your people. I've heard the cry of my people. The Bible said he chose one man. He chose me. He chose you to fulfill the destiny of man once again. Moses was appointed. And the Bible told us that as Moses began to present his case before King Pharaoh, I could remember one of the things that Moses did when he delivered a message to Pharaoh and told him that the Lord said, let my people go. That statement was a big challenge to Pharaoh. And the Pharaoh said, who is this God that I should obey him? Who is this God that I should obey him? Of course, the plague was the right answer to Pharaoh. God sent the multiple plagues against Pharaoh. And that beautiful night, God decided to send the angels to visit the entire city overnight. I want to let you know that problem that you are going through does not have to take God a whole generation to deal with. It takes God just overnight. Overnight, Jesus was coming from the fasting, from his 40 days fasting, and saw a fig tree and wanted to eat from the fig tree and found out that there was no fruit. The Bible said he cursed the fig tree. The following morning, Jesus was passing again, and disciples said, Jesus, look, the tree is dried up. overnight. That trouble that has come on your way, because of what the year 2018 is all about, it shall dry up. Overnight it shall dry up. In the name of Jesus. That the Egyptians you have seen yesterday, you shall see them no more. In the mighty name of Jesus. I say in the name of Jesus. Let me tell you this. There was, let me say, someone who was a big trouble, not just trouble to me, but trouble to the entire church. And one day, we were bold enough to confront him. And I said, what is your problem? And he said, my problem is that I will not let this church stand. He had the gut to even say it face to face. I said, well, because you have spoken this, you shall not stand. I said, your business, which you have used as a business center for conspiracy against the church, I prophesy to that business, it shall be shut down in the name of Jesus. And it looked like it was a joke. I remember that beautiful night. God showed up in the dream. 3 men with long sword, strong sword, was walking all over the city of Moreno Valley, cutting off people's head. Not the head, but the head. Chop! Or everything will be on the floor. Chop! Chop! My God, my wife and I, we started running and running and running and running for dear life. Behold, we entered our house and bolted the door and locked up everywhere. Before I could know it, they came to the house with the same sword, penetrated into the house. My God, look at the sword like this. Then we lied flat. So, oh my goodness, these 3 men are looking for us. As we were still dodging, they opened the door and walked in. I said, oh God. And the man said, the 3 men said, stand up. Stand up. We are not after you. We are here to protect you. And they said, come with your wife. And they took us in the dream. And we got to the shop, the store of that man. And the angel, the man said to my wife, prophesy to this shop. Face it and prophesy. Then my wife faced Los Angeles. Then after he has finished the prophesying, then the man said, but I told you to face this store and prophesy. And my wife said, oh, I'm sorry. Let me face it. No, that's okay. It is done. Look at your neighbor. Tell your neighbor, it is done. Look at your neighbor. It is done. So what happened? 3 days later, I was now walking by the store. I found out that there was nothing in the store anymore. I didn't know that I was sitting in the realm of the spirit. And behold, I saw, there was things there. I told my wife, I said, wow, there was nothing here. But look, do you know what happened? The following week, they moved out. And since then, they have never found their feet on the ground to even do that business again in order for them to gossip and fight against the church. I am talking to someone this morning about your God who is ready to send angels to fight your battle for you. He did it for me. He did it for my family, and he will do it for you. In that case, my God will show up. If you believe it, let me hear the excitement in your Egypt and said, let my people go, let them go, let Pharaoh, let my people go. Do you know who Pharaoh is? Pharaoh is an enemy of progress. Pharaoh is the man that kills things, and from the beginning he is an infant killer. He is a hater. He is evil. He is death. He is sickness. He is affliction. That is whom Pharaoh is. I don't know what you are going through today, but every spirit of Pharaoh in your life shall be uprooted from today in the name of Jesus. Your freedom has come. I say your season is now. Receive it in the mighty name of Jesus. That problem in your house, that problem in your marriage, that problem, oh my God, the Lord is saying, I'm bringing an end to it today in the name of Jesus. That's what we are talking about. That's what we are saying. I prophesy to you that after today, the God of heavens shall dispatch his angels to fight your battles. And he will spare the life of your household in the name of Jesus. For this year, anyone who will challenge or mock your God shall receive the plagues of Pharaoh. In the name of Jesus, I prophesy to the hearers of the word of God this morning, your enemies, they shall join in celebration of your victory. Victory in your childbearing. They said you cannot be a child. I speak into that womb this morning to begin to receive not just a child but children. I say receive it now. Receive it now. Receive it now. Let that womb open. Let that womb open by the power in the blood of Jesus. 2018, anyone who have stood on the ground to mock your God, you have been serving this God. Where is this God? Look at your character. Look at your behavior. Look at this. My God, you shall see them in the mighty name of Jesus. In the mighty name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, they shall celebrate your victory in your finances, in your career, in your health, in your household, in your children, in your business. It's a year of victory in your life, in everything, in the name of Jesus. Today is a special day. Remember that God called the Israelites. He told them that I have delivered you from the hands of your mockers. I don't know who is being mocked in the house. My goodness. The Lord is about to call people from all over to celebrate you. It shall be so in the name of Jesus. The mockers, the users, he told them, tonight I am delivering you. All you need is to kill a lamb without fault. The Bible says God delivered them. There's one thing that God did. In the process, the Lord called the Israelites. He said, I've done great and mighty things in your life. And from today, you passed over your enemies. You passed over all your troubles. You passed over the rivers, the fires, the mountain, the valley. From today, I command you, he said to them, to begin to celebrate this your Passover to your victory. Because every time you do it, you remind the heaven that I, the Lord, still exist, and I will fight your battles. He said to them, he said, do this on every 14th of the first month of the year. Oh, I love Jesus. In the book of Luke chapter 22, from 7 to 23, when you read that, you're on the very day of the Passover night, they said Jesus Christ, he came to the city, and when he entered the city, oh my goodness, he said to the disciples, oh Jesus, he said to them, I want you to move to the city. When you get to the city, you are going to find a man who is carrying a jar of water. When you see that man, follow him. Wherever he entered, speak to them, tell them, I want to use your space to celebrate my Passover. Jesus said, oh my God, the Bible said that when the disciples crossed over, they saw exactly the description of Jesus. Oh my God, from today, every false prophecy against you by the fire of God shall be shattered this year 2018 in the name of Jesus. Only the prophets sent by God shall prophesy concerning you in the mighty name of Jesus. The Bible said that they went, they entered the house, and they told the man, look at your neighbor, say authority. Look at your neighbor, say authority. Power, that shall be your portion this year in the name of Jesus. And they went in. As soon as they went in, they said, hey, we want to make use. My master said, we want to make use of your space. And they said, yes, you are free. They said, you are free. And again, the last night, a night, the next morning, Jesus will be facing that death on the cross. The Bible says they began to eat. Jesus said, oh, I'm having the last time with you guys. Another time we're going to have this is when I will come again. I am living. Oh, they looked at him. What is he talking about? We don't understand. He said, like, well, that's what it is. As a matter of fact, one of you that want to betray me, you are eating with me here. This one says, Master, it's not me. This one says, it's not me. Okay. The one that actually betrayed him already said, Master, you know it's not me. He says, it is you. This year, God will give you the boldness to confront and speak to your enemies. Amen. In the name of Jesus. And they said that finally when Judas stood up, when the soldiers came, he gave Jesus a kiss. It's not every kiss that is a good kiss. Watch them that kiss you, because when Naomi, Ruth, when the other Ruth and the other fellow, when they decided to go with Naomi told them to go back. The one that went back came, I gave him a kiss. I gave her a kiss. But Ruth went. He said, where you die is where I'm going to die. Your God shall be my God. I am going with you. And the Bible said, God blessed her. Every kiss by deception against you this year 2018 shall crumble. It's not every kiss that is a good kiss. And Jesus went to the garden of Gethsemane to pray because the hour was fastly approaching. And the Bible said he went with the three, John, Peter, and Andrew, always with them. John is love. Peter is the rock. All of them went. This time he started praying. He told them, stay behind there. Let me go by myself. You know, Jesus became more transparent, became more obvious to the situation. But let me ask you, if you go up there, if you climb up there with your master and you hear and see his transparency, can you stand it? Can you stand it? What will you do? Jesus knew that his disciples cannot stand his transparency. He went by himself. He went to pray by himself. He said, Lord, oh my God, if this cup is not from you, let it pass by. Let it pass by. As he prays and they cry, he looks at the cup filled with more nails. More nails. The more he prays, the more nails. The more nails. My goodness. Hallelujah. Who are your friends? If they see you, your nakedness, will they run their mouth? Will they pray for you? Will they clothe you? Or they will mock you? Jesus remembered that he told them, 3 days I will rise, I will not die. And if he takes them there and they hear him say, I'm afraid of death, I am afraid of pain, I am afraid of the cross, they're going to say, look at you who have said this. You say you said this. Nobody will remember anymore that Jesus is man, Jesus is a human, Jesus has blood, and he went and he prayed by himself. Oh my God. At the end, on the cross, the journey of Jesus to the cross is a journey to redeem you from the power of darkness, to redeem us from the power of struggle, to redeem us and to reinstate us back to where God has called us to be. To them that receive him, to them that believe in him, then I shall give the power to become. What do you want to become? Jesus is your answer. Jesus is your source. Jesus is your power. Jesus is your authority. He's here in the house. Thank you, Jesus.